The highest IQ scores in America belong to a group of people who, statistically, make worse real-world decisions than average. Not a small gap, a well-documented one. For years, nobody wanted to say this out loud, because it breaks the one thing we all assumed, that being smart and being right are the same skill. They're not. And the difference comes down to one question. What does your brain do in the half-second after it's wrong? Here's the story we've been sold. Intelligence is a container. Fill it with books, courses, and information, and eventually you're smart. Wrong model. Your brain isn't a container, it's a prediction machine, running thousands of silent guesses every day about what happens next. And every time one of those guesses fails, your brain has exactly two options: update or defend. Most brains defend. That single reflex is quietly deciding how smart you'll be 10 years from now. Scientists have a cold, clinical name for this moment: prediction error. And here's the part that should unsettle you. The way you handle prediction error predicts long-term intelligence better than your actual IQ score. So, what does handling it correctly even look like? It looks almost nothing like you'd expect. A professor at a mid-sized engineering school ran a strange experiment on his own students. Before every single lecture, they had to write down their guess at the answer. Not research it, not discuss it. Guess it in ink before they were allowed to learn the truth. One student, call her Priya, was furious about this. She was used to being right. Now, she was wrong. In writing. Week after week. Staring back at her own mistakes. 6 months later, something had changed. She wasn't just retaining more material than her classmates. She could explain, without being prompted, exactly why each wrong guess had failed. And that explanation is what never left her memory. There's a name for this: the generation effect. Your brain encodes information at nearly twice the strength when it's forced to generate a wrong answer first, compared to simply being handed the right one. The error isn't the failure. The error is the door. Now here's the part that completely breaks people's assumptions. The students who got every answer right on the first attempt, the ones the whole class assumed were the smartest, built the weakest long-term memory of the material. Every single time. Being wrong, under the right conditions, beats being right, which explains something that shouldn't make sense. A guy named Jake, no degree, barely touches a textbook, deliberately plays chess against people who crush him, and constantly asks strangers to explain exactly where his thinking broke quietly, out-reasons people with twice his education. He's not smarter on paper. He's just creating more collisions with being wrong. On purpose. Every single day. And each collision compounds. New curiosity loop. But there's a catch. Guessing wrong by itself isn't enough. Without one missing ingredient, this entire mechanism falls apart. And most people are missing it right now, without even realizing it. Deeper insight. That ingredient is friction. More specifically, someone disagreeing with you. Researchers studying group decision-making found something that should terrify high-performing teams. Groups that reach agreement quickly make objectively worse decisions than groups with one person who keeps pushing back, even when that person is wrong. Here's why. Disagreement is the only thing that forces your brain off autopilot. It has to stop nodding and actually simulate a position it doesn't hold. That simulation is some of the heaviest cognitive lifting your brain will ever do, which means people who only surround themselves with agreeable company are becoming quietly, measurably duller, while feeling more confident than ever. Confidence and intelligence aren't the same signal. Sometimes they move in opposite directions, and you can't feel which one you're losing. So here's the real line between a sharp mind and a stalled one. Not what they've read, not where they went to school, not even their IQ score. It's whether they're willing to be wrong out loud, in public, on a regular basis, and whether they can sit across from someone who disagrees with them without flinching. That professor didn't make Priya smarter by teaching her more information. He made her smarter by forcing her to guess first, fail in public, and be corrected out loud. So, the next time you watch someone with a sky-high IQ freeze when faced with a real decision, you'll know exactly why. Somewhere along the way, they stopped guessing wrong, and the guessing was never the weakness. It was the entire mechanism.